I want all three. Ooh, Ashley, hey, ooh, Ashley, hey.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Shay back with another video. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. In today's video, we're going to be doing septum piercing 101. Now I know it may be a little hard to see my septum, but I'm gonna get up close and personal for y'all and show you that I do have a little septum piercing right here, baby girl. Yes, I do. But yeah, this video is just going to tell you everything you need to know before getting a septum, or even if you just got your septum done recently, this is going to give you a little bit more information on the piercing. If you don't know anything about me or about my channel, I typically post lock content, but I do have a few piercing videos on my channel because I do have a lot of piercings, 15 to be exact. So I have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to piercing, so if you like videos like that, please stick around. Also, before we jump into the video, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe down below because it really helps out my channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. So first and most importantly, the pain level. I feel like that is what everybody always wants to know when they're getting a new piercing. Disclaimer, everybody is different and this is just my experience, but to me the pain level was like a 3 or a 4. So it honestly wasn't that bad. It was less than a 5, but honestly what you're going to feel is a really sharp pinch. I did get this piercing done 2 times. Second time's a charm for me. But yeah, I have got this piercing done 2 times. It's really just a sharp pinch and you're going to cry in both of your eyes, or at least I did and most people I know did as well. And that is completely normal, but yes, I did cry. Your nose is going to be a little bit sore for the first couple days, maybe the first week. I do want to mention that the second time I got my nose pierced, it did bleed, but the first time I got it done, it did not bleed. My septum piercing both times was $50. That's pretty standard for a piercing, a nose piercing in general. That is pretty standard. I'm sure you can find it cheaper. I know there's a lot of piercers who do like flash sales and stuff if a piercer you like is doing that in your area, but typically they're gonna run you about $50. So the healing process, according to Google, I will insert it right here so y'all can believe me, but according to Google, the healing process for a septum piercing is 2 to 3 months. Now in my experience, I feel like it took more like 5 to 6 months for my nose to stop hurting when I was messing with it or trying to flip up my jewelry, because I do flip up my jewelry a lot. Honestly, I don't want it out all the time, but sometimes I feel like it suits my little aesthetic and it just suits whatever I'm wearing, so I like to flip it out when I want to. But I feel like for it to stop hurting when I was doing that, it took about 5 to 6 months, so I feel that that is when it actually truly healed. Now I do want to mention my experience for both times I got my septum pierced. So the first time I got my septum pierced was about a year or so ago. Basically, I went to this guy, he pierced the septum up way too high. So as you can see how small this little tiny jewelry is, right? It like barely peeks out of my nose. He pierced it with the standard septum hoop, which is way bigger than this one, but it poked out the same amount and I just didn't like how it looked. I felt like he pierced it up way too high. It was just not flattering on me, but to say the least, it healed really nicely. Within the first day, I was able to flip it up and down with no pain. My nose was fine, it healed perfectly, and there was nothing wrong with it. I just hated the placement and it was not for me. But the second time I got my septum pierced, it was a completely different experience. First, I do want to mention that the girl who pierced it, she didn't use no type of tongs, okay? So on the first day, it was low-key crooked, okay? It has straightened out, it looks straight, it does not look crooked at all, and I'm not mad at it. Like, it does not look crooked at all to me or to anybody who's looking at it, I'm sure. The healing process for my second time around was actually really painful, and before anyone asked, it was actually not pierced in the same spot. Like I said, the other guy pierced it up way too high. She pierced it down a little bit lower, which is a little bit more flattering to me, but the healing process was very painful. Every time I flipped it, it was like a very sharp pain. I will mention that I was flipping it up way too much and I was having too much fun flipping it up and down. That is not something you should be doing. When you're in the beginning stages of the healing process, I was just getting beside myself because I was able to do that the last time I got it pierced. When it comes to cleaning, you want to be cleaning your piercings at least 2 times a day. 3 times is recommended. Now, I'm a little bit lazy with my piercings. I don't always clean them as much as I'm supposed to, but listen to me, take it from someone who has had piercings. Clean them at least twice a day. 3 times recommended if you want the piercing to heal as best as it possibly can, and if you want it to heal as quick as it possibly can. Honestly, like I always say, it takes me a little bit longer to heal my piercings, probably because I'm not cleaning them properly, okay? And that is just my personal experience. I just want to be honest with y'all. So if you clean it and the amount of times a day that you're supposed to, it's probably going to heal a little bit faster and you can start doing more with your piercing. I also do want to mention that you're going to get a lot of boogers around this piercing. Whether you flip it up or not, you're going to get boogers. And while you're like twisting and turning your piercing, or while it's twisting and turning by itself, if those boogers get stuck in the piercing site, it's going to hurt really bad. It's literally going to be like little hard substances scraping up against your new piercing, a fresh wound. That is not going to feel good. And I feel like that's why my piercing hurt so much when I would flip it up and down, because there was literally dried boogers on my piercing. Maybe that was TMI, but you clicked on this video and you wanted to know about Septum. So yes, I'm just being real with my experience. This is probably the most important part of the video. Go to a piercer you trust. In every piercing video, I will say go to a piercer you trust, because if you go to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, you're most likely gonna have a bad experience. Make sure you do research on your piercer. Make sure you ask people who have nice septum piercings. Make sure you Google search, Instagram search, Twitter search, whatever you have to do. Do some research on the piercer before you go to them, because you never know what kind of work this person does. You never know what experience level, what expertise level this person has. And if you end up going to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, you're gonna pay for it in the long run. Trust me, I have paid for it multiple times because I have a lot of piercings. Some of these piercings had to be done twice because people didn't know what they were doing, okay? And we're just gonna leave it at that. Now I'm just going to give you some tips on the piercing that I have learned throughout my healing process, and having this piercing 2 times, I think I have a little bit of knowledge on what to do and what not to do with this piercing. So basically what you want to do is just leave it alone for a few months. If you want to wear it out, wear it out. If you want to keep it tucked for a few months, keep it tucked. But whatever you do for those first couple months, either you keep it flipped up or you keep it flipped down. Don't be going back and forth, because you're honestly just reopening that wound. You're just lengthening the healing process, and you're probably causing some damage in your nose that does not need to be happening. So leave it alone for the first couple months. Don't try to change the jewelry. Don't try to flip it up and down. Just leave it alone and let it be, because when you do that, it's going to heal faster. Also, like I mentioned before already, make sure you're cleaning it at least 2 to 3 times a day. All right, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you're still here, please comment down below the little needle with the blood emoji. I will comment that down below right here. You are a real one for sticking around. And if you're still watching and you haven't thumbs up this video or subscribed, please do so now, because it really helps out my channel. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.